Okay, today we're going to do some economic and I guess investing, myth busting. Yeah, MythBusters here, Watchdog on Wall Street version. I want to start off today talking about some of the numbers that we saw today, the economic numbers that came down the pike. Again, talk about myth busting. What we do here is we try to dispel conventional wisdom, narratives that are being pushed upon you. GDP was up 2.9% in the fourth quarter. It was a little bit better than was expected. The durable goods number was strong. However, the core number was not. It was weak. There was a massive, if you remember that airplane order by United for Boeing, that basically rose to the durable, basically put the oomph in the durable goods number. You got initial jobless claims. Again, everybody's like, oh, it's going to be, it's going to start improving, meaning not improving based upon the markets in some sort of ridiculous logic that job cuts are actually a good thing. But anyway, it actually went in the opposite direction. Uh-oh. Talking heads out there. Oh, no, the Fed's not going to like this. The Federal Reserve, they got to put people out of work. The only way we're going to deal with inflation is for people to be on the breadlines. Yes, that's it. The only way you can do it. Honestly, they keep repeating it again and again and again, and one economist after another, and from one firm and another firm. And I'm like, are all these people just stupid? Are they incapable of any sort of critical thinking at all? Zip, zero, zilch, nada. Oh, some professor told me at some point in time, and it's in this book. Think for a second. You know what? I could do this experiment with a kid. You know, the whole emperor has no clothes thing. And I could try to explain to a kid on how putting people out of work is going to be good for the economy. And the kid's going to look at you like you're nuts. And the kid is going to be right. It's not good for the economy, and it's not going to help inflation. Sorry, it's not. I don't care what Jay Powell, I don't care what those economists at the Federal Reserve or the talking heads on CNBC are telling you. It doesn't help. Never has. There was an interview today. Barry Sternlicht from Starwood. And this guy's billionaire, brilliant, entrepreneur, ideas guy, employs tens of thousands, not more, people all over the globe. And he's being interviewed and saying the same exact thing I'm saying. Exactly. And the exact same things we were talking about here on the program. He was, you mean to tell me, and this is a smart, accomplished human being. What I mean by accomplished, someone who actually has built something, created something, provided people work, jobs. Oh, he was going off. He was talking about corporate America. Corporations a bad guy. We employ people. We put food on people's tables. That's what employers do. That's what businesses do. But he's like, wait a second. He's trying to get this logic across on CNBC this morning. You mean to tell me putting somebody in an unemployment line is a good thing? And then he went off. You mean to tell me that wage inflation and wages going up for workers is bad? You understand that's what they've been trying to beat into us? People getting raises, that's somehow a bad thing. Oh, it's terrible. Fed's got to deal with that. That's horse manure. It's good that people can make more money. It's good that we have a tight labor market. Again, I just go back to the Sade song there. Feel no pain. I mean, Popo that can't find a job, looking for work for years. You can listen to some of Tracy Chapman's songs from back in the day. Woe is me, can't find a job. That ain't the case. We've gone off on this on the program. A job is the greatest social, I guess, service thing you can do. You want to benefit society? Get people work, get people jobs. Don't get them on the unemployment line. Anyway, maybe some explanation why, because we've seen the layoffs, why the jobless claims have not gone up as they expected. Again, as they expected. Maybe, I don't know if you've been looking, but these companies that are laying people off are given some pretty nice severance deals. People are basically going to be on vacation for some time. And they're going to be looking for work, but you know what? I'm going to take a vacation right now. I ain't kidding. There's some pretty nice severance packages out there. I'd say I don't think that these people, I think they're going to be looking for work probably sooner rather than later. But you might see those jobless claims tick up. It's going to be several months down the road. We're going to see really any sort of significant change when it comes to any of this. Another thing I wanted to touch on. Earnings calls. Again, this is part of myth busting here on the WatchDog on Wall Street show. CEOs, executives, after their earnings come out, they give a call. They have an earnings call and they explain whatever happened that quarter, what they have going on, what their outlook is. They take questions from time to time. All right. Let me explain to you how corporate America and the managerial class is structured in today's day and age. And again, this goes back to the 1990s when Congress, in its infinite stupidity, decided to regulate corporate salaries and said, well, hey, you know what? You can't deduct any more than, I forget what it was at that point in time, $1 million, $2 million, anything more than that wasn't a deduction. So what did businesses do? They said, hey, you know what? We'll give stock options instead. Bang, wang, pow. Pay's gone through the roof since then. So CEOs, executives, the managerial class at many of these corporations, they have to manage their stock price because that's how they get paid. Do you understand? They get paid. It's in their contract. If we can make the stock go up, if the stock outperforms, if we beat estimates, earnings estimates, we get paid. So you're CEO of, let's say, yesterday, the Microsoft swing. All right, Microsoft earnings come out on, what's today? Okay, Thursday. It came out on what? Tuesday evening. Very positive reception. Then you had the earnings call. Then the stock tanked. Then the stock turned around. Yes, I don't know where it's at today. It's volatile. But if you don't think that Microsoft knows exactly what it's doing when it puts out, well, you know what? Things are going to be, we're going to be a little bit cautious moving forward. The whole macroeconomic picture right now. And they all say it. They can all say the exact same thing. Greek chorus of corporate heads out there. And Wall Street takes down its projections. And what do they inevitably do? They beat them. You lower the bar and you go ahead and you beat what they put out. It's how the game is played. It's how the game is played, and you can figure it out. I mean, even Elon Musk yesterday, Tesla call, talking about his production capabilities, and basically said we can do over 2 million cars a year now, but he said, we'll do 1.8. Who knows what could happen? And he's right. Who knows? But again, you keep those expectations down, and that's what these CEOs have they've learned how to do. Again, lines their pockets. Okay, moving on. All right, we got. This shouldn't surprise anyone. Again, congratulations, taxpayers. The Government Accountability Office last week released the the handling of the $878 billion in unemployment insurance handouts from April 2020 to September 2022. Still going to September 2022. Unemployment insurance, COVID. Labor estimates that fraud in its normal unemployment program hit $8.5 billion. That's 8.6% of outlays. But they extrapolated this across all of the additional unemployment programs that Congress created for the pandemic. And you're looking some $60 billion plus in unemployment fraud. I had a different office at this point in time. And I remember sitting there on the program and going off on a rant, talking about how the computer systems in the state of New York still run on floppy disks. And I'm not talking the plastic floppy disks from the 1990s. I'm talking the 1980s. Remember those black, like square things that you stick in there? Yeah, there's computer systems still operate with that stuff. The unemployment system operates like that. Did you actually think that they're going to be able to catch anybody when it comes to fraud? We talked about all the fraud in some of the other COVID programs as well. It's pathetic and sad. It would have taken me a weekend to figure out a way to help avoid all this stuff. But again, the powers that be, they couldn't be bothered. It's not their money. It's tax. It's our money. It's our money that we got to continue to piss away again and again and again. All right. I wanted to talk about this. We mentioned it before on the program. This is kind of a wider picture outside of the green stuff that is in the Inflation Reduction Act. This is more of a, if you will, this is more of a discussion in regards to just handouts, giveaways, and subsidies in anything. It doesn't have to be green. It could be anything out there, and what happens and the disconnect that it causes in the free market. You had the European Union's competition chief talking about the incentives, United States incentives that we put in place in regards to a myriad of green ventures, whether it be turbines, whether it be cars, and the question whether or not we're diluting our efforts when it comes to climate change. Again, the types of subsidies that we've put into place is very attractive for businesses. These are European businesses, but they can't make them in Europe. So Europe is rightfully upset at this, saying that, geez, we can, we're going to have our turbine companies or companies that make solar panels. They're going to up and leave to the United States because they're going to get all sorts of subsidies based upon the Inflation Reduction Act. You want the money, you've got to make it in the United States. Story after story. And again, why do I bring this up? Why should you care? Why should you care about this? This is a larger picture, big picture stuff. We get angry and upset, and you can get politicians that get the people going. You get Trump got the people going, talking about China, and rightfully so. I mean, you talk about intellectual property, theft, knowledge transfer, all the things that the Chinese demand. And yeah, I get it. You can also talk about the subsidies that they provide to certain favored industries of theirs. Well, we're doing it too. We're doing it too. We've been doing it for a very long period of time. Europe does it too. That whole idea, you can't get a little bit pregnant. We subsidize a lot here in this country. And you know what? It causes a disconnect in the free market. And I talked about, I called it, island of Dr. Moreauing it. You're turning it into something that it shouldn't be. If a company wants to come to the United States to, build windmills, to build solar panels, they should come here because it's a good place to do business, the favorable tax structure, energy. It shouldn't be that if they come, they're going to get some sort of government handout. Again, we are all supposed to be equal under the law. Ron DeSantis, I gave him a kudos in regards to his statement telling the school teachers to take the kids' phones away in the classroom. But you got to like this too. He's got this teacher's bill of rights that he wants to put out and wants to spend an extra $200 million on teacher pay in the coming school year. They're going to lift the minimum salary for school teachers to $48,000 in the state of Texas, which is the 8th highest among states. Now, another thing that I really like, again, DeSantis is the gift that keeps on giving. He's like he's top 40. He's just one great thing he's doing after another. In my eyes, you might disagree with that, but I think he's doing a great job. He's going to give teachers the option of whether or not they want to join the union. Yeah, if you don't want to pay union dues, you don't have to. I think that's fantastic. Quickly on this story. Who was this? This is the Wall Street Journal. Casino at Saks, Times Square, or the UN. Companies pitch New York City officials. Oh no. Oh, please. I'm biased. I get it. I don't gamble. I don't. It's the last casino. Last casino I was in was in Dover, Delaware, and I was staying there because the only option I had for a lacrosse tournament down there at the time. The time before that, last time I was at a casino, it was 2006, the Atlantis in the Bahamas, and had to walk through the casino. That's how they designed it, to get to all the beaches and water stuff. Did I gamble? No. Okay, take that and put that aside. I don't care if you do gamble. It's up to you. Okay, as long as you're intelligent about it. You see it as entertainment. Don't gamble more than you can afford. Okay, for some people, it's fun. Whatever floats your boat. Okay, in New York City. I don't know. Definitely not on Fifth Avenue by Saks. Please don't do that. Just put it in Times Square. Times Square is wrecked already. I hate time. I'm sorry. I don't like Times Square. I don't like that area. And again, I just like people. I don't get it either. So people come to New York City as tourists, and they go and eat at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company at Times Square. Do you understand the restaurants that we have in and around here? I'm just saying. If you're gonna stick it anywhere, stick it in Times Square. I'm gonna finish up with this one today. Short and sweet today. Long day. Long day for me. We're doing this podcast much, much later than usual. I can't tell you the amount of appearances that I made over the course of the day. Not making this up. This is not a parody. This is real. A Vanderbilt professor delivered a lecture at a major mathematician meeting. These are meetings that I would never go to. Again, I love math. I appreciate math. I respect math. However, math class and I had a very difficult time. It is what it is. Sometimes I get glazed over. It starts going one ear and out the other with me. My brother Matt, on the other hand, he was a mathematics major. I don't even know how one could do that, quite frankly. But anyway, you got a mathematics conference here, and one of the speakers is basically wants to change math education. She gave a lecture titled "Undergraduate Mathematics Education as a White Cis Heteropatriarchal Space and Opportunities for Structural Disruption to Advance Queer of Color Justice." Keep breathing there. Oh my God. It's like the Bill Withers song, for crying out loud. Are you kidding me? What does that word salad mean? I'll say it again. Okay, try to follow along with this. Undergraduate mathematics education as a white cis heteropatriarchal space and opportunities for structural disruption to advance queer of color justice. Yeah, and her study was about the educational experiences of undergraduate queer and trans students pursuing STEM majors. Now listen, okay? Depending on what time of year it is. I'm white now. I'm a summertime. I'm a person of color. Either way, math was difficult for me. Either you're good at it or you're not. And again, this is stuff that they're pushing out there. How does it matter what your preference or your pronoun is? How does that equate to math? I don't know. I don't know. Again, Dave Chappelle calls them the alphabet people. The alphabet people are rampaging across the land. Yeah, yesterday, we talked about, they wanted to cancel Aretha Franklin. Now, again, they don't understand. They don't get the math. They're not getting the math, and it's not their fault. They're not being taught properly because they have to be taught in a queer way. Queer math, how does that work exactly? Anyway, have a great day. WatchDog on WallStreet.com, WatchDog on WallStreet.com.